bouncing around. Good. Here we go. All right. Characteristics of quadratics. We are starting Unit 4. We're going to talk a lot about parabolas. We're going to talk about what those mean, what they are, how to use them, and everything else. Okay. So do me a favor. Write this right here. Okay. I'm going to draw a parabola. Okay. And actually, I'm going to draw one like this too. Just somewhere on your notes. Okay. These are parabolas. Now, the last unit that we just had, we talked about exponential growth and exponential decay, where it like starts out kind of low and then it shoots up. You guys remember that? Or exponential decay, where it takes off and it just falls off a plate. Okay. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, but today we're going to go into quadratics. Okay. Both of these are called parabolas. That's called a parabola. Okay. So if you hear me say parabola, it's either going to be the U or it's going to be the N, okay? It's going to be the U or it's going to be the N, okay? Please write these down. Please write these down. Please stop typing on your computer and write these down. All right, here we go. If it's going up, it is positive. If it's going down, it's negative. We're talking about the A value. We'll get to that in just a minute, okay? There's a couple things I just want to, like, somewhere. Put it at the top of your notes, okay? If it has a bottom, okay, this is the minimum. If it has a top, what do you think that is? That's your maximum. You're going to actually be asked, what is the minimum, what is the maximum, okay? So you have to be able to find the top or the bottom depending on whether it's positive or negative, okay? These are the parts that we're actually going to find today, okay? The axis of symmetry, okay? I'm going to put that there. The axis of symmetry is a line that goes right down the middle, okay? The axis of symmetry, AXIS of symmetry. And it's going to be X equals something because it's a vertical line. Remember on the last unit where we had Unit 3 and we had the asymptote? And it was the imaginary line that it almost gets to, but it never actually touches? It was Y equals, okay? The axis of symmetry is a vertical line, which is X equals. An easy way to remember that is axis. What letter is in axis? The X. Okay, so you kind of remember the axis is the X line. It goes up and down. Basically, axis of symmetry means that it cuts the line. Parabolas are perfectly matched on both sides, okay? So when you do that, you're going to cut the line in half, and it actually splits it in half. So that's why it's called the axis of symmetry, because after you cut it in half, this side matches this side. So it's like you take it and you fold it in half. Axis of symmetry, okay? Everybody good? Domain range, increasing, decreasing, okay? We'll talk about all that in a minute. All right, did you guys, let me get my clicker. Your equation, please write this down. Y equals, somewhere, this is an important part. Where's my notes? There we go. Y equals AX squared plus BX plus C. Y equals AX squared plus BX plus C. There's your equation. In other words, if it has a squared on it, it's going to be a parabola. Okay? If it has a squared, it's going to be a parabola. We kind of sort of talked about that early in the year when we were trying to identify what kind of equations they were. Was it quadratic? Was it linear? Was it absolute value? You guys remember those? Okay, we talked about what quadratic was, and I told you if it was squared, it was quadratic. And I said we will get to that later. Well, today is later. So today is the day we're going to start learning about what quadratics are. And this is a pretty good size unit. This is the part this is going to be on your thing for a while. Okay, this is going to be in this section for a while. This is going to be on your STAR test. All right, here we go. We ready for number one? My clicker. You should already have it typed into Desmos, do you? Sweet. All right, here we go. Desmos, negative 2x plus 4x. Now, if you notice, there's no number on the end, right? There's no number on the end, which means your y-intercept is going to be 0. It should cross right at 0, does it? Yeah. Okay. What does it look like? I'm just kind of looking at it. Okay, you guys have it drawn. Yep, looks kind of like something like this, correct? Yeah. Okay, something like that. All right, here we go. So we're going to identify the absolute minimum, the absolute maximum. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. On the minimum, on your graph, I want you to go to the very top of that graph and find that dot. You see it in Desmos? What is that dot? 1, 2, so that's your absolute minimum. So your absolute minimum, your maximum is 1, 2. Why is it a maximum? Because it's the highest point. It's the highest point. It's kind of like a mountain. Okay, maximum. Is there a minimum? No, there is not. Okay. Now, my axis of symmetry, it's my vertical line, yes? So if I draw a vertical line right through that, what is my x? What's the x number that it touches? X equals 1. That's easy. Pretty simple. X equals 1. Yes? I'm going to try to draw this a little bit better, by the way, so you can see this. Okay, so kind of looks like this. Is that right? Kind of sort of, well, we're close. All right, that was a little cockeyed. You're good. All right, here we go. What are the zeros? Now, what the zeros are where they cross the x-intercepts. In other words, where they cross the y or the x-axis. Okay, so the x-intercepts. So all you need to do is identify where it crosses the x-axis. Okay, what are they? What is it? What's this one? What is that? What's that point? 0 what? 0, 0. And then go to the other one where it crosses the x-axis. What's this one? You have it on you. Just put your cursor on it. It'll do it. 2, 0. And 2, 0. Okay. Now, just like before, what is my domain? All real numbers. All real numbers. All real numbers, because it goes on forever left and right. Or you could say negative infinite, positive infinite, and just do the x thing. Yes? You can, either way works. All right. Range, bottom to top. Does this have a bottom or does it have a top? So we need to find the top number and then go down. Now, what letter is range? Y. So we're going to go Y. What number is the top Y? Positive 2. Yes? Now, now this is a little bit different than the other one. Is it going up from 2 or is it going down from 2? Down from 2. Is it actually touching the line? Is there a point on that line? The point is on the line. Yes. Don't, it's not a trick question. This one actually is touching the line because there is a point at 0, 2. Yes? So it's going to be less than or equal to 2. This one is actually touching the point because it's actually on the 2 line. Everybody good? What's my y-intercept again? What's y-intercept? 0, 0. Now, this is where it gets... After we do a few of these, you're going to be like, I understand this. Like, this really is not that bad. Today is just the key characteristics. I want you to be able to identify the parts that we're doing, okay? That's what we're doing today, the key characteristics of quadratics, okay? This is the part where people get lost. Everybody good? Increasing and decreasing. Now, I'm going to get rid of everything, all the extra stuff on here, okay? I'm getting rid of all the extra stuff, and I'm going to redraw this. Yes? Something like that. Now, increasing. How do you read graphs? Which direction? Left to right. Okay, you always read your graphs. Please pay attention to this because this is where people get lost. You read your graphs from left to right. Nobody's lost on that part. Would you agree? Everybody understands left to right. Okay. Nod. Yes, everybody's with me. What direction? Left to right. We're going to go left to right. I keep saying that, but I want you to understand. So what's the farthest left that I have? Is there a point anywhere the farthest left? What is it? Infinite. So I'm going to go negative infinite. Now, if I keep going, if I read this graph from left to right, is there a point where I get to a top? Now, hold on. If I start here, and if I'm going from left to right, I'm going to draw this graph all the way down. Starting here, that's the furthest left point of this graph. Would you agree? That we can actually see. Going from here, going that direction, what is this line doing? It's increasing. It's increasing up to a certain point. Would you agree? What is that? If I'm going left to right, what is the point where it stops increasing? What is the number? Well, remember, I'm on the x-axis. So it increases from negative infinite over to what, guys? Over to 1. Now, once it gets to the 1 right here, what happens? It starts to what? It starts to decrease. So from 1 to what? Huh? No, not negative infinite. 1 to positive infinite, it is decreasing. 1 to positive infinite, it is decreasing. So think about it. Hold on. If I have that line, okay, Think about it like this. I have this little curve, okay? Here's my curve, okay? It's actually going this way. From here to here, this is increasing. From here to here, it is increasing. It's going up a hill, and then it does what? Down a hill. Negative infinite to positive infinite. Left to right. You're increasing. You need to make sure you put x. That's our focus. Your x is your number. You're going down the x-axis, left to right. That's why it's negative infinite up to the 1, and then once we get to 1, it goes down, positive infinite. Now, if it's going the other direction, that means we go down, kind of like a skateboard ramp. We go down, and then what happens? We go right back up, okay? So we go here, down to a certain point, and then it shoots right back up. Okay, so it would be a little bit backwards, correct? Everybody, yes? Tyson, make sure you're paying attention to me. Okay, don't get ahead of me. I want you to pay attention. Stay with me. All right, everybody good? All right, here's what I want you to do. Oh, by the way, this is at the top, this is A, this is B. My C doesn't exist, so it's plus 0. If they ask you to identify the A, the B, or the C numbers, you're going to need to know those. A is always in front of x squared. Your B is in front of the x. The C is going to be the coefficient that's by itself. AX squared plus BX plus C. That's the equation I gave you, right? AX squared plus BX plus C. Okay, x squared, x, no x. Okay, everybody good? All right, let's go to the second one. Let's go to the second one. Go ahead and type it into Desmos, please. First thing I want you to do is identify your A, your B, and your C. Go. And I'm going to kind of do this with you just because I want to make sure my graph matches yours. Everybody good? Type it in. Start identifying, please. Go ahead and type it in and try to start identifying with your neighbor. By the way, your absolute minimum and maximums, they're going to be decimals sometimes. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay. I'm going to pause this for a minute and let you guys work on this, okay? Pause the video and go. All right. Are we good? All right, here we go. What's my A? What is, no. It's not X. What is A? What's the number in front of the X squared, guys? There's no number, so what is it? Nope, it's not X. It's a 1. A is 1. Okay, what's B? 5. What is C? Perfect, 1, 5, and 6. Okay, 1, 5, and 6. You will need to know that because when we get to the quadratic equation, negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A, you're going to have to be able to identify A, B, and C. Okay, that sounds more complicated than it really is. Okay, if you can identify what A, B, and C is, it's just basically just plugging it into the equation. It's not hard. Okay, I promise you that sounded worse than it really is. All right, what's my minimum or maximum? First of all, is it a minimum or is it a maximum this time? All right, people are doing it. Good. It's a minimum. It is a minimum. So here we go. So it is negative 2.5 and then down half, right? Is it down half or is it down a decimal? 0.25. Negative 0.25 is what it said. Yes? Is that what your Desmos calculator said? Yes? Everybody's good? All right, here we go. So what is my axis of symmetry? Can I give you a little hint? Watch this. What's this X number? There's my axis of symmetry. It's always going to be the X number of your minimum or maximum. Because in your axis is going to go right through that point. Yes? So doesn't it make sense? So the X number is going to match it. Okay? Very good. All right, here we go. What are my zeros?
0, 6.
What?
0, 6.
Okay. Nope, not 0, 6. That's your y-intercept.
Oh wait.
What are the zeros that I'm looking for, guys? It's always the what?
X.
Look at the example above you. Look at number 1. What did I tell you to write down next to where it says zeros? X-intercepts. So what are my x-intercepts on this one? Negative 3, 0 and negative 2, 0. What that simply means is that those are the two numbers If I plug those in, okay, those two numbers are called zeros because when I plug those two numbers in, the equation y is going to be 0. That makes y 0. Okay? If I plug that number in, y is 0. That's why they call them zeros. Okay? What's my domain?
All real numbers.
All real numbers, always. All real numbers. Okay, ARN. I don't know if that's an official. I don't know. We'll run with it. All right, here we go. Range. Let's see. Can anybody tell me what? Hold on. Now, hold on. Here's my x, yes? My axis of symmetry is my x. There's the bottom of my range, or the top. That's going to be my number. That's going to be my number. Is everybody with me on that? Because if that's my point, it's either going to go up from there or down from there. But that's the point. So what's my y number there? Negative what? 0.25, right? Does it go up from that point or down? Y is greater than or equal to negative 0.25. Because that's the lowest y point. Remember, range is what? Bottom to top. Okay, we're thinking bottom to top. Now, what's my y-intercept? 0.6, good. Now, let's do the fun part. Increasing or decreasing? Okay, so we start farthest left, and we're going that way. We're going that way. What's it doing? Decreasing. So I'm going to do the decreasing. That's my negative infinite. Down to what? What's the lowest point on my x? What's my lowest x? What's my x number? Negative 2.5. And then from negative 2.5, it increases all the way up to what? How far does it increase? Infinite. Infinitely. What if I cut it in half? What if I did this? Can I do this? Everybody ready for this? What if I did this? Can you see it now? What did that do? It went down the hill down to negative 2.5. Would you agree? And then once it gets to this point, what did it do? And did what? And then it went back up. Everybody good? Decreasing, and then from that point, it splits and increases. It's going to do both. You just have to be able to find both of them. Fair? All right, cool. Let's do number 3. Flip it over. Type it into your calculator. Let's go to work. With a partner, I want you to check on this one. Go. With a partner, check on this one. All right, do me a favor. Talk with your neighbors. See if you guys got these right. Talk with your neighbors. See if you can figure these out together. By the way, today's going to be pretty easy because all we're doing is identifying. That makes it easy. Yes? We're just identifying. Check with your neighbor, please. Don't be scared to talk to people. My computer did. All right, so here's what I'm going to do on this one. I've already got it drawn for you. Let me see if I can. All right, here we go. What's my A? What's my B? What's my C? A is what?
1.
A is 1. What's B?
1.
1. What's C? Negative 2. And this is negative 1, by the way. B is negative 1 because what's the sign in front of it? It's a negative. Okay, it's a negative. All right, yes, sir. Do you have a question? Okay. All right, make sure you pay attention to your signs. Which, by the way, you see this number on the here? You guys see that? Somebody tell me what number that is. Just circled. What is that? Look where it crosses. That's my y-intercept. Okay, your y-intercept. It's kind of like y equals mx plus b. Your y-intercept is going to match that last number. Okay. The last number 2 that you guys just did just a minute ago, what was the number? Like positive 6? Where did it cross the y-axis? 0.6. So the last number, if there is a c, it'll cross at that. Number 1, there wasn't a c, so it crossed at 0, 0. It crossed at the origin. Okay, that's why it did that. All right, here we go. Minimum or maximum? Minimum. Give me the. I'm not even gonna look at my paper. Give me the notes. 0.5 and negative 2.25. Is that what you got? Okay. What's my axis of symmetry? Nope. Tell me the whole thing. No.
X equals.
X equals 0.5. Get in that habit now. Don't just say 0.5. How many of you just said 0.5? Don't do that. Because if you put 0.5, you're just giving me a specific point. But if you say x equals, do me a favor, you guys still have that equation open on Desmos? Type in x equals 0.5. Just type that in. X equals 0.5. What did it do? Vertical line right through that equation. Would you agree? Okay. That's why I want the x equals, because if you put x equals, you are telling me that it's a line and not just a point or just a number. If you just say 0.5, I have no idea what that means. It could be y equals, it could be x equals, it could be just a point, it could be anything. That could be your y-intercept, your x-intercept, it could be just kind of whatever. So make sure you label your stuff, okay? X equals, y equals. All right, here we go. What are my zeros? Negative 1, 0, and positive 2, 0. Okay, what's my domain? Arn. What's my range?
Y is greater than or equal to.
Good, you guys are starting to figure that out now. That's my y number. Okay, this is my y range. Boom. Yes, kind of. See how all that kind of ties together? All that kind of works? Yes, it all kind of works together. All right, here you go. What's my y-intercept? 0, negative 2. Just like my c, negative 2. Okay, it's going to match always. Okay, now here we go. Let's do, what's first? Is it increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. So what'd you put? Negative infinite to 0.5. Good. Use the x number. Use this. Use the x number, not the y. Because what? How do I tell you to read a graph? Hold on. Say it again. How do you read a graph, guys? Left to right, which is what letter? X. Okay, so make sure you use the x number. Okay, that's a dead giveaway. And then my increasing would be that number again, 0.5 to what? Positive infinite. Everybody good? Everybody good on that? I don't think it's actually a point. I think you're supposed to put like brackets around it, but you understand the concept behind it. Yes? Cool. Last one. I want you to do that with your neighbor. Ready? Go. All right, here we go. Again, this graph is not going to work. Looks like it should be like at negative 5.5, right? Which would be like right here. It should look something like this. Yes? Something like that. All right, here we go. What's the minimum, or is it minimum or maximum? It's a minimum. Why is it a minimum, guys? Okay, because it's our last example, does everybody understand minimum, maximum? Waiting for, I still see people typing. Does everybody understand minimum, maximum? Yes, make sure you know. I want to make sure you know that, okay? This is day 1 of Unit 4. If we don't understand minimum, maximum, we have some problems. Okay, so we're good. All right, so what's my minimum? What is that point?
Negative 5.5.
Okay, perfect. All right, so my axis of symmetry is? Good. I'm glad you said x equals. Thank you for saying x equals. It's a vertical line. Okay, axis of symmetry. The x should be a dead giveaway in axis of symmetry. Okay, what are my zeros? Negative 6 and what? Really? Okay, negative 5, 0. I don't know. I'm trusting you guys here. All right, here we go. What's my domain? All real numbers. Okay, when you're talking about quadratics, it's always going to be all real numbers, kind of like we did exponential. Some of you guys typed in on the test. You tried to give me numbers. It was wrong. Okay, it's real. It's all real numbers. All right, here we go. What's the range? What's my y number up there? Good. You guys notice that the numbers don't really change much. You're basically using the same numbers over and over again. You guys, I see people nodding. You're using the same numbers. You just got to know where they go. What's my y-intercept? 30. There it is. 0, 30. It's my C number of the equation. 1, 11, and 30. Is that what you got for ABC? Okay. Increasing. All right, what'd you get for decreasing? Okay. And then increasing. We go to negative 0.25 and then positive infinite. You guys good? Let me show you something really, really quick, okay? That equation that I told you guys just a second ago called the quadratic formula, yes? You're going to have this, and we're going to get to this point. It's not very far away. Negative b plus and minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's your quadratic formula, okay? Now, I'll get into what it's for in a minute, but what are the three letters you see there? What are the three letters? A, B, and C. Like literally, if you can identify A, B, and C, you can use that equation. And it's just basically plugging it in. So this one, you know what, because this group can handle it, I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you, okay? Negative B, okay? So what was my A? What was my A? What was my B? What was my C? What's my A? What's B? 11. What is C? Watch what I do here. This is negative B. What's my B number? 11. Whoa, maybe not. Maybe not with that marker. Okay. 11. What's negative B plus minus the square root of B squared? So 11 squared again. 4AC. What's A?
1.
What's C?
30.
And what is A again? 1. And you just put it in the calculator and it solves it for you. Literally, you just have to know how to plug in the numbers. Okay? That looks worse than it really is. You do it twice. You add, the reason it says plus and minus is because you split it and you add it once and then you put minus sign. You hit enter and do it again. And it gives you two different numbers. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I'm confused.
On this or today's lesson?
No, like for the increasing and decreasing.
Yep.
That I put negative 5.5 because the last one put 0.5.
Oh, it is. Thank you. See? Thank you. Left to right, we're using the X number. Who put in that? Did anybody else see that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say something? Okay. Negative 5.5. Negative 5.5. You got to use the X number. Thank you. See, I was just I thought you guys had it. I was just rolling with it. All right, we good? All right, so today I'm going to give you a little break here in a minute, and I will get you going on your assignment. Cool? 1 to 5, how do you feel on this? I see a lot of 5s, a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s, a couple 3s. We're okay. All right, good job today. You guys can move around and relax.